Our investigation was to find how installing a dam affected the temperature of the river downstream. Also part of our investigation was to find the depth and width of the river. To do these tasks, we used a temperature probe to measure the temperature at each collection point. To find the depth, we used a toothpick which was color-coded, and our group also used a ruler to find the width of the river.
Looking through our data that we and the other groups collected, the dam had a drastic change on the temperature. As you see, before the dam and the temperatures varied anywhere from 19 degrees Celsius to 20.5 degrees Celsius. But once the water passed through the dam, the temperatures rose. 11 out of 12 of the measurements recorded showed an increase from the first point to the last, but 1/12 of the measurements is an outlier. This measurement started at about 21 degrees Celsius, and at the end of the measurement, it was roughly 20.9 degrees Celsius. This is the only measurement that shows a decrease.
Looking at the width and the depth graph we made in the first three tests, in the middle of the river, the width increased, but in the last test in the middle, it decreased. Since it was different, I went and looked back at the temperature graphs, and I saw that in test 4, the lines did not have major temperature changes in the middle of the river, like the other three tests. According to the data, the river has many different depths, but there is a pattern of it being level at first, then a slight increase and decrease in the depth in the middle of the river. At the end of the river, it levels out again.
In the video, there is already a path made for the river. The water starts to flow, and it then meanders and widens. The water goes under the dam and starts to split in opposite directions. The water starts to flood on the bottom on the opposite side of the dam. On the top half, there is already a path starting from the river. When enough water is built up, it breaks away from its holding spot and creates a small island. The water then pushes the island to be eroded. The water meanders again on top of the island and erodes that surface and flows into the delta. Several tributaries were made too. The water by the dam nearest to the delta is eroding the sediment and making the river larger. On the top half again, it erodes into a straight channel.
The picture being presented is showing the average temperature at each collection point. Point 1, 20.2. Point 2, 20.2. Point 3, 20.4. Point 4, 20.3. Point 5, 19.8. Point 6, 20.2. Point 7, 20.2. Point 8, 20.3. Point 9, 20.5. And point 10, 20.4.